I hope everyone is able to see the screen.
Perfect. Looks like we're all good, so I'll go ahead and kick things off here. Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Klauer, and I am so excited to present our project to you today. I'm here with my colleagues Krishanu and Tyler. We've been working hard in this space to come up with something great to show you, and what we're going to show you today is Zoltar, our financial assistant. Okay. So a problem that all of us have, I literally experienced this earlier today, is that you go to a website and you try to use their search bar. And if you type in information that you're trying to find on that website, you rarely actually come up with something that's useful. So if you're trying to solve something complicated, like you're trying to plan for your financial future, if you're trying to find a way to invest in the housing market, if it's a good time, if it's a good time for you, right? It takes time to actually go through and get all of the information, compile it, and then reason through it to actually make a decision. What the problem here today is that finding the right information, specifically about personal finance and real estate, is complicated. And it's dynamic because it's changing with the news, it's changing with the mortgage rates. We need to find a way to put that all into one place and have a solution that actually answers to that need. So, for those of you that have seen the movie Big with Tom Hanks, Zoltar was a star in the cast. And the idea is that if you've ever been to an old amusement park, Zoltar is there. You can put $1 in the machine, ask him a question, and he'll tell you your future. It's a pretty nifty thing. I loved it when I was a kid. But what if you went up to a Zoltar machine and you asked him what your financial portfolio would look like when you're an adult? It takes a lot to answer that question. And you need something that's trustworthy and the content is good, right? So we tried to answer this question by focusing on two primary user profiles. Those being a normal person, a layman, somebody that's not necessarily an expert in a financial or real estate field, but they're looking for advice, but they don't want to spend too much money or time in order to get that advice to make a decision. But we also wanted to focus on the other side of the spectrum towards the subject matter experts, those people that are working in those fields, that are already actively providing people advice, but they need to stay up to date with the latest and greatest briefings and information so they can deepen their analysis. And in order to measure that success, we need to find a way to keep the information provided to be truthful. Right? It has to be real. It has to be grounded in a source that is reliable. But it also has to be fast, right? You can't give it too much time. You can't take you too much time. Otherwise, you'd be able to get that information yourself. It has to be current. You can't be, getting financial and housing recommendations from the 1940s. And it should be personalized, right? My financial situation is going to be very different from the person sitting next to me, right? And it might change over time. So it needs to answer to my needs. And that's what success will look like. So with that, I'll throw things over to my friend Tyler to talk to you about the data required to solve this problem.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan. We can jump right in. So at the very core of our idea here, we were trying to get sources from the good points. We'll talk about Apify, Chroma, and OpenAI throughout the rest of the slides. But the real important part here is that we wanted to make sure that we have an ethical duty here to not only try to get the data that is publicly available that people need to run their lives financially to people, we also wanted to make sure that we don't lie to people. We don't give people bad information that then cripples them financially. That's a bad product. So to that end, we have we want to make sure that all of the sources that we're running this analysis off of are hand chosen for their trusted nature, but also that they are done by people that are legally certified to do these things so that we aren't reposting the knowledge of some blogger who doesn't actually know what they're talking about. The data out there is available, it's publicly available, but it is truly vast just how much different types it is of data there are. And so actually combing through all of these articles that come out is a ton of time, even for the subject matter experts, and I would argue especially for the subject matter experts. So to that end, we believe that our solution solves pretty much all of these issues. So to this end, we can quickly run through the models. Very simply, we are running off of OpenAI's core models of GPT and Ada to actually do the computational power here. But we are also heavily relying on Apify for their background mapping and data sets functions, which is shown in the RAG diagram we have to show you here. Excellent. So we are currently, the scope of what we have is we are pulling tax and investment data from Ameriprise Financial, and we are pulling real estate information from Redfin. All of that data is being web scraped through Apify, which is then loaded into the Apify client. That client is then, the embeddings are loaded, or the data set is put together in Chroma and embeddings put together to be read by the OpenAI LLM so that we can have a nice retrieval augmented generation system to truly vet the data that is being shown to customers. To that end, I believe that now we can jump straight in the demo, and I'll throw it off to Krishanu.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to quickly show the demo. Hope you all can still see the screen. So let's just try this query, latest real estate news from 2023. When I query the latest real estate news from 2023, it gives me the news that are pulled in from multiple articles, which includes both good and bad news. And hence, we can just conclude that our model is not very biased. In the current case, as you can all see, as of November 2023, the mortgage rates have fallen from where they were a few months back. But it also highlights how 2023 is the least affordable year for home buying on record. So I'll go back and present my slides. So to conclude it all I can say is, like my friend Ryan has pointed out, finding the right information does not have to be very complicated. And GPT models today are very generic and they do not serve a very specific purpose. As for future work, we would like to integrate our application with voice, and we would love to integrate even more diverse source lists from where we can retrieve our answers to various queries. By interactable, what I mean is, let's say if someone asks a question like, should I invest in a house right now? Our application should not say like, yeah, go ahead, right? Just buy whatever house you can. It should say like, well, for making some conclusion like that, I would need to know your annual income and various other specific information. And only then I can conclude whether you should buy a house or not. With that, we would like to conclude and see if there are any questions.